Hi everybody, my name is David and it is December 28th, 3 days after Christmas, one day before my 42nd birthday, and it's raining outside. It's kind of a gloomy day, so I figured, hey, I'll do the internet a favor and show it how I make hot sauce. Yeah, let's get started. So the first step to making habanero hot sauce is you gotta grow the peppers.
After you grow the peppers, let's start that. All right, so after you grow the peppers, the next step is to pick the peppers. Let's do that.
The next thing you're gonna wanna do is wash your peppers thoroughly. And you'll see that some of them are still green. Have a little bit of green in them. That's a-okay. That'll just give them some extra flavor. That's what I say. So this is the bag of peppers that I've been saving all week. They are all pretty good and ripe. I'm just gonna go ahead and add the ones that we just picked to this bag so you can get an idea of how many peppers. I'd say, I don't know, there's about 2 gallons of, I don't know, that's about a gallon of peppers. Maybe a gallon and a quarter, something like that. But it's a good amount of peppers, and it's gonna make some hot sauce. Another important step of hot sauce making is you have to have bottles. And so we just had a knock on our door.
I wonder what that could be.
So you can pick up 5-ounce hot sauce bottles via Amazon. There's some other online stores you could get it. But I find, you know, I have a Prime membership, free shipping. Usually they come in and are in good shape. Let's find out what we got here. Glass, this size up. It's not uncommon for every now and then you to get a batch that is broken. Came with some shrink wraps, it's pretty cool. And here we go. That is, well, you can't really see it. This is how they come packaged. And my arm's not long enough to fit the 50mm camera on here. Nice, huh? They come with screw taps. And they also come with the little drip insert that you'll need. That is very nice. And I think, I don't know, for how many is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 4, 5, 6, 24. For 24 bottles, it was, I think it was like 14 bucks, something like that, free shipping. Anywho, they're called Woozy bottles. Let's see, here you go.
focus. 5-ounce woozy. All right, so the next thing you're gonna wanna do is clean those bottles that you just received in the mail. So I've taken off the tops and the little drip inserts, and I've just slid them down onto the little stem thingies in my dishwasher. You want to do this, why? I don't know, you know that song, Peaches, millions of peaches, peaches for me? Well, you know, peaches come from a can. They were put there by a man in a factory downtown. Same thing with these bottles, and that man in the factory downtown could have had scabies. Okay, so wash your bottles. Okay, so if my wife found out that I was just doing an entire load of nothing but bottles, she would kill me. So I guess I'll go ahead and do the dishes too, get those going. So this will be a quick minute. Ooh, that sponge is funky. All right, so the next thing you want to do is you want to slice your peppers. Oh, and I just forgot like one of the most important things. Yeah, I'll pause real quick. This is a public service announcement to always wear gloves when handling habanero peppers. Just is a good thing. Why? I'll tell you why. If you handle habaneros with your bare hands and then you know, say rub your eyes, you are going to be in a world of hurt, my friend, a world of hurt. And another thing, this is for the guys, if you handle habaneros, even if you like go out there and pick them or whatever, you are still, you know, even if you like don't get any of the juices on you, you still got the oil. And if you go to use the bathroom, and if you're like most guys, like me, and you hold on to your tallywhacker when you're using the bathroom, again, you will be in a world of hurt after handling habaneros and taking a leak. And yes, I learned this the hard way, so you're welcome for passing on that tip. So this is gonna take a minute. Look, when you ever have these little green things still on there like that, just slice a little bit of it off and give it to Jeff. And then keep going. These peppers look fantastic. And what I'm doing is I'm just throwing them into a pot that I plan to cook them in. So I'll show you that in a second. And then we'll get to the next step. But for now, this is kind of boring part. I will continue chopping, and when done, we'll go to the next step. All right. So as you're chopping, one thing you're going to want to do is, as you put your chopped peppers in this pot, you're going to want to add lemon juice to the peppers as you're cutting them. Why? Because lemon juice is good, and it also has ascorbic acid, which is a natural food preservative, which will help keep your peppers from oxidizing as you work. Because as you can see, I have a lot of peppers to go. So be back in a minute. Okay, I forgot to mention one other important thing. As you're putting your peppers, cutting them and putting them in the pot and adding lemon juice as you go, you also want to add okay, non-iodized salt, and sprinkle that pretty liberally over it all. Okay, all right, so now that you have all of your peppers cut and into your bowl, what you're gonna want to do is fill it up with lemon juice until it's just below the surface of the peppers. So a lot of people ask me, David, what's the recipe for your hot sauce? How much lemon juice do you put in it? And I always say, well, it depends on how many peppers you picked and cut. So there's really no real set recipe, just a method. But looks like I'm gonna use all of this. Yeah. And it is, it's probably hard to tell on the video, but it is just below the surface of the peppers. Might need to make a run to the store though to get a little bit more. And then after you fill it up with lemon juice, you give it one last good coating of salt on top. Just like so. Once you have the peppers cut with the lemon juice in and that last little layer of salt on top, you're gonna wanna cover your pot of peppers with a cloth, just like this. Nothing fancy. No lid, you want it to breathe. This is why you use a cloth. And you literally let that sit unrefrigerated on your counter or wherever you want in a place that's cool, you know, not like hot, you know, room temperature, but just let it sit like that for a week, 1 week. So if I'm doing this on a Saturday, it'll be ready to cook next Saturday. All right, see you in a week.
All right, folks, here we are. It's been a week. We are back. Our peppers have been taking a lemon and salt bath, fermenting for a week. Now, my dad, whose recipe or technique this is it always said that the reason he did that was to make sure it killed off any bacteria that may lead to botulism. So, now that that's done, we have just the 2 last ingredients that's going to go into this hot sauce. I have 1 ear of garlic, so the entire ear of garlic chopped, and it's a big ear. It's not like one of those little ones that comes pre-packaged. It's one of the loose garlics that you buy in the store, and all natural distilled white vinegar. So the first thing we want to do is start cooking. And by the way, you may have noticed that my setup here is outside. You are doing your family a favor if you have the means to cook this outside. So let's go ahead and turn this to about 3. I don't know. We'll see how hot that gets it. This electric burner tends to get pretty hot. All right. So that's going. Okay, now that we have the burner turned on, we are going to put in our 1 ear of chopped garlic. Okay, we're starting to get hot here, starting to smoke. And just another tip, when this thing starts to smoke, don't put your face right over the pot and smell it. Unless you want, you know, like your eyes burning and, you know, your nose burning and all that stuff. So, you know, some people I know when they're cooking up this stuff even wear like those respirators or doctor's masks. I don't. I just avoid putting my face right over the pot. So you may want to do the same. Coming along nicely. I can tell that the peppers have softened quite a bit, which means they are almost ready for us to blend. And what I'm going to use is an immersion blender. I think that's what it's called, an immersion blender or a stick blender. I used to do this in a traditional blender, but I found that it sucks, and it's so much easier to use a stick blender while it's still cooking here in the pot. And we'll do I'm gonna let these go maybe another 5 minutes of just getting soft, and let that garlic get soft too. And then we'll blend it up. And it's at that point that once we have it blended that I'll start adding the vinegar. And the vinegar you only add really just to get it to the consistency that you like. The one thing that I never really liked about your mainstream hot sauces on the market is they always tasted too vinegary. And so I never made it really a main ingredient, or it's never been a main ingredient necessarily in this recipe, but really just used as a thinning agent once you have your peppers blended. All right, we'll be back in 5. Okay, so now for the fun part, I'm going to unplug our pot here. This stuff has been simmering now for about 20-25 minutes, something like that. Just getting really soft. And I'm going to plug in the immersion blender, stick blender, whatever you call it. And now for the fun stuff. Oh, and no, not talking about that. That's the other fun stuff. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Now, let me see if I can help you see what's going on here. I am just blending away. And if you're in the market for a stick blender, I highly recommend this Braun. It works amazing, and like as hard as you pull on the trigger there, controls the speed it goes. So that's pretty nifty. Okay. Let's go ahead and check for our consistency now. So you could use a spoon for this. And it's actually a really good consistency with no vinegar at all. But you have to have vinegar, or else it ain't hot sauce. Now I know I don't like to say it's my star ingredient, but it has to be an ingredient. So I just sort of eye this up, do a good pour, stir. Looking good. And I'm going to go ahead and blend it while it has the vinegar in it with the immersion blender. Let all those flavors get happy. Now instead of using lemon juice, you could have used anything. Citrusy, really. You could have cut the lemon juice with some lime, pineapple, mango. I know in Central America it's pretty popular to add carrots to cut the heat.
So, you know, the sky's the limit. This is the, what I would consider like the foundation recipe, and it's really my favorite. I like just tasting, you know, the peppers and nothing fancy, and so this is the way I like to do it, and it was the way my dad liked to do it, and it's the way he taught me, and it's the way I'm teaching you guys now. This is looking really good. I'm gonna go ahead and add just a little touch more vinegar and give it another blend. And folks, I think that's a wrap, really. I'm gonna let the vinegar I just added cook into it maybe another 5 minutes. Then I'm gonna cut the heat and let it chill off a little bit before bottling it. So we'll get to the bottling part in a hot minute. All right, we'll be back. Look at that. That's a perfect consistency. Okay, so now I'm gonna turn it off. Let it chill a bit, and we will be ready to bottle. All right, folks, we are back inside. Our hot sauce has chilled, and we are ready to begin the bottling process. I wanted to show you what all you will need to bottle your hot sauce. First, a ladle. You're gonna need to ladle the hot sauce into that funnel, which will fit right into that woozy bottle, 5-ounce woozy bottle. You will need your drip tips, drip inserts that you put on top of the bottle, and you will also need your cap for the bottle. Now this is a shrink capsule. You put that on top of the bottle after you have put the cap on and sealed it, and then you'll need the heat gun to shrink the capsule onto the bottle. I'll show you guys how to do that a little bit later. All right, so that's what you need for the bottling process. It's all there. All right, so we have our cooked, blended hot sauce to the right consistency that we wanted. We're ready to bottle. It's cooled off a little bit. So we have our 5-ounce woozy bottle. This little funnel fits perfectly in there, and our ladle. And I'm just going to start ladling. About 1 spoonful at a time. And this is also your last chance to make sure it's the consistency you want. Like if it's pouring through the ladle too quickly or not fast enough, then you may want to adjust your consistency by adding more vinegar. And that's really only if you think it's too thick. If you think it's too thick and you want to thin it out some, now's your chance to add a little bit more vinegar. But if you do that, I would recommend refiring it up and cooking it for a second longer. Okay, so what you want it to get, if you're using the funnel I'm using, is right at the height of the bottom of the funnel. And that's going to be the perfect amount for a bottle. And then just stick the funnel on the side, and there you go. We have one down. Let's see how many we'll get out of this batch. All right, so here's what we're left with. A baker's dozen, 13 bottles of fresh habanero hot sauce. All right, so now I'm going to show you guys how to finish the bottling process. Okay, so step 1. Well, I don't know, this isn't necessarily step 1, but one of the final steps in bottling your hot sauce is putting on the drip inserts. And these just literally snap into place. And just like the bottles, before you use them, you want to rinse them in warm soapy water. Shoot. Like so. All right. Okay, and then the next thing you want to do before putting your caps on is take a rag, a warm rag, and just go around the top of your bottle and bottom, and just make sure that you're getting off any drips that may have occurred when you were putting the hot sauce in the bottles. You don't want to give away a nice bottle of hot sauce that looks like it's all gross and has crusted over hot sauce on the side of it. Alright, so this is like one of my favorite parts of bottling hot sauce, is applying the shrink capsules to the tops of them. And you don't have to do this, especially if you're just giving it away. This is perfectly fine to give to a friend as a present and say, hey man, here's some homemade hot sauce of mine, hope you like it. But if you really want to go the extra step and make it look cool and just feel like it's fresh and secure and bottled specifically for that person, is to use a shrink capsule. So this is a shrink capsule. Looks like this, and when you apply heat to it, it shrinks on top of the capsule here. So let me demonstrate. You need a heat gun to do this. You put your finger on top of it and then use the low setting of the heat gun, and when it starts to shrink, start to spin it. That's so cool. All right, and there we go. One shrink wrap bottle, and of course to open it, you just use that little tab and open it, and now it looks all nice, ready to give away. Or if you're looking to make money out of this, go ahead and try and sell it. All right, let's do some more shrink wrapping, shrink capsule wrapping rather. Alright, so there you have it, folks. That's how you make hot sauce. And it's real good. It's good, okay? You'll like it. Give it a try. I hope you liked the video. This has been a public service announcement. Thanks for watching. Bye. So the man on the left here is who inspired this recipe and taught me everything I know. My father was a great man. He passed away in June, and I miss him every day. This video is dedicated to him.